rolling around at the speed of sound. So in part 200, I made a little mistake. I want to set the record straight. I want to get this out of the gate. But basically, in this section, featuring the robots Deco and Boko, ow, fuck, as they are, I bashed my head against the wall, as they are apparently known. I've never heard of these motherfuckers before, but since this is apparently the Sonic anime, which I never watched, I'm going to presume that they are characters exclusive to that. Now, what happened was, there's a line that goes, "We need to go," Deco said, grabbing Boko's hand, and they ran away, leaving Chris behind, laughing a little. But you see, when I read it, I said, grabbing Boko's head, and that's incorrect. Just wanted to set the record straight. And now for chapter 37. This one is chapter 37 of 220. Oh boy. Chapter 37, our Chris is the okay. Author's note, well, this chapter is a little shorter than the others, so the real action is going to be in the next one, and the final chapter of this arc. But at least some introductions and background stories are good to remember, right? Well, I don't know. Read, enjoy, and review, please. Chapter 37. 2 hedgehogs, 2 Chris, and a war. But it's also our Chris is the left one, as it is known in the little selecty drop-downy boxy thingy. Okay, here we go. Boss battle song 1. Fuck you. Get ready. X-Tornado, battle mode engaged, Tails shouted, pressing a button, and the X-Tornado changed to a floating machine with 2 big hands. Ha! Now try to destroy this baby! Why I'm thinking he doesn't says baby too often, Ness wondered. Why indeed? Shut up! Take this! Tails shouted, and the X-Tornado charged a quick punch at Ness. But Ness did a double jump in the air, dodging the attack. Pichu took the opportunity to cast a thunder below the punch, and the X-Tornado was struck by the lightning, and Tails gritted his teeths. You're so annoying! Did you knew that? Don't say that to him, Pikachu said above Tails' window. Tails was too slow to react before Pikachu casted another thunder, which came with a strong impact upon the machine. Arg! Take this! Tails yelled, trying to punch Pichu. But Fox pushed him out of the way, and they barely evaded the attack. Stop moving! Look below you! Pikachu said below the X-Tornado. Tails tried to stay away from Pikachu, but another thunder came from above. But this time, the thunder broke through the glass of the cockpit, and Tails was damaged badly inside. Tails yelled in pain. That was the last thing someone could dare to do to him. But before he could retaliate, Ness was just inside the cockpit in front of Tails with a baseball bat. With a baseball bat. Tails' eyes widened, and Ness started to hit him hard with the bat. But Tails managed to grab Ness using a hand of the machine, and he threw the PK user to a wall. Fortunately, Ness was able to evade the crash. That's it, Tails said, and he ordered the X-Tornado to spin around the air with the hands extended at both sides. He moved to Pikachu, and the hands slapped him hard enough to bury him in the wall. Pichu went to Pikachu's side, but the X-Tornado was coming closer to them. Ah! Pichu yelled, terrified. PK Thunder! Ness shouted, firing a ball of lightning directly to Tails, and the fox with 2 tails stopped his attack to regain his composture. It was too late, because Fox was hovering in the air with fire surrounding him. What the? Fire! Fox was surrounded by fire, and he turned into a blazing comet. The attack was fast enough to hit the right hand and destroy it in the process. Fox landed safely above the floor, and Tails was shocked to see his machine being slowly destroyed by 4 little pests. My X-Tornado! Stop it! Tails yelled, trying to beg. However, Ness came back using another PK Thunder, and he went blasting off to the other hand, and it exploded with the strong blow of electricity. Tails was now defenseless at this point. Why, you little... Fine, it's time to fire the cannon, Tails said, pushing a button. From both hands, a blue light was starting to charge up, and he pointed it at Pichu, Pikachu, and Ness. Ness landed near them. That made Fox to grin a little, and he stood in front of them with one hand in his belt. You want to die first? Fine! The cannon was fired directly at Fox, but he took out his reflector, and he was surrounded by a diagonal-shaped figure. A shield? This cannon can break any kind of shield! Who said it was a shield? Who said it was a shield? Fox asked, smirking a little. Tails made a confused face, and he thought, what was Fox trying to say? Choose your future. Choose life. Unless it's a reflector. Oh no! Tails said, gasping. For his misfortune, the beam was abruptly reflected back to him, and the whole machine exploded with Tails inside. He yelled in extreme pain, and after a blinding light coming from the explosion covered the whole area, it panned out, showing Tails unconscious on the floor, and the shadow bugs escaped from his body. The crowd cheered for them, and the music stops. It's over, Pikachu said, getting up and shaking his head. Pichu and Ness sighed in relief, and Fox approached to Tails and kneeled. Hey, are you okay? Fox asked. Ah, my head. Where am I? Tails said, getting up slowly from the floor. Then he saw the face of Fox looking at him. Who are you? Fox. Tails got up completely, and he cleaned his head from the smoke. Fox. Well, you're a fox like me, but is that really your name? Of course. And I know your name is Tails, and I think it's because of your two tails, right? Fox said, looking at Tails' tails. Tails rubbed... Is that what you call him? Is that what the kids on the street call him these days? Tails rubbed his forehead. Ha ha ha, you're right, but how did you knew my name? Amy told us. Amy? Tails looked around and he saw Ness, Pichu, and Pikachu looking at him. There are more of you in this colony as well? Yeah, my comrades headed that way. Fox pointed behind Tails to a corridor. Ness, Pichu, and Pikachu introduced themselves to Tails. Do you remember anything? Ness asked. Well, I remember being covered by strange purple spores, and Amy was also living in the same situation, and Sonic, he did that! I saw those strange spores coming from his hands! Okay, some guy's speaking now, I don't know him. Blasted Tails, I see you've been recovered from your mad state. A voice spoke close to them. Is that you, Mr. Tanaka? Tails asked. The person inside the spacesuit came from another corridor, and he approached to Tails. It was Tanaka, Chris Thorndyke's personal butler. What a relief to see you as well, Tanaka said while his little Japanese theme played when he appeared. Fuck you. I thank you for saving him, he said, bending a little. Well, thanks, Ness said. Master Tails, we must go on and find Chris before anything bad happened to him, Tanaka said. Yeah, I know, but where is my X-Tornado? Tails asked, looking around for his machine. My bad. You fired a big beam at us, and I used my reflector to return the attack at your machine, and it exploded, Fox said, rubbing his head, and Tails looked down sadly, but his ears perked up a little. Wait, reflector, you said? Fox took out his reflector and showed it to Tails. This is the reflector. Tails took the reflector and he started to examine it. Amazing! I haven't seen this kind of technology before in my life. Whoever did this is a total genius. Tails remarked, returning the reflector to Fox, and he kept it in his belt. Slippy will be happy to hear this coming from another inventor like you, Fox said. Ahem, Tanaka said. I forgot about Chris. We need to find him, Tails said. All right, you can come with us, Pikachu said, smiling. Tails and Tanaka has joined your team temporarily. The direction where they went was there, Pichu said, pointing to the right corridor. Everybody nodded and they left the room. Everyone, nodded and they left the room. Space Colony Ark near the capsule room. Huh? Who are they? Falco asked when he saw two strange robots running at them. They are the intruders. Seize them, Deco said. 10 seconds later, Deco and Boko were touching the wall with their backs, while Lucario, Pit, Amy, and Roy were pointing their weapons at them. Okay, tell us, where is Chris? Chris asked with his hands behind his back. I had to take a moment to figure out which Chris was speaking, but they haven't been introduced to other Chris yet, so we'll see. Chris asked with his hands behind his back. Why should we tell you? Boko said, and Lucario thrusted his lance just an inch away from his head, and Boko's sweat dropped. He is in the next room. Just follow this hall and you can't miss it. Boko, you traitor, Deco said angrily. It was either live or be punished by Dr. Eggman. Wait, that's worser, Boko said, gasping. Everyone else besides him and Deco left running away to the capsule room. Just who were those guys? They don't seem to be one of Dr. Eggman's rivals, as Sonic is. You didn't saw Amy with them? Any friend of Sonic or his friends is the enemy of the Doctor, Deco said. Well, what about Shadow and Rogi Rouge? I mean, they're ambiguous, isn't it? That's their draw. That's their unique selling point. Their USP is the fact that they're sort of like anti-heroes. They're of ambiguous morality. You can't really tell whether they're fighting for righteousness or malice. You know, they're side switchers. They're renegades. They're out of control. You can't stop them. You can't control them. You can't.